Hello and welcome to another Microsoft Excel tutorial. This is Professor Saad Yusuf. I would like to explain to you some of the basic things about editing an Excel worksheet, how to rename a sheet, and some of the tricks that you can apply in a worksheet. So first of all, to get started, as I told you last time, that whatever you click, it becomes your active cell. And the location of the active cell, it can be found right here. And an active cell is usually donated with this rectangular box. Okay. Now, so if you want to select more than one cells, there are multiple ways of doing it. For example, if I would like to select cells D through D8, so I can click in D2, press and hold the left click on the mouse, and keep coming down. Okay, that's one way to select it. Or I can use the same trick by clicking in a cell, pressing and holding the mouse, left click, and going in this direction. Similarly, if I want to select cells horizontally as well as vertically, for example, I want to select all the cells from D1 through G5, so I can click in D1, I can press and hold the left click on the mouse, and I can move my mouse and come all the way to my destination cell. So that's another way to select it. Now, there are other ways of selecting the cells as well. For example, if I would like to select cells B1 through F1, I can click in B1, I can press and hold the shift on my keyboard, and I can click on, for example, F1. So all the cells from B1 to F1 will be selected. Similarly, if I want to select from B1 to F10, I can click in B1. Once again, I can press and hold the shift key. I can move my mouse in the cell location F10, and I can click, and all the cells from B1 through F10 will be selected. So that's another way that you can use to select. Now, if I want to select cells B1 and D1, but don't want to select C1, so I can click B1. Now I can press and hold the Control key on the keyboard and click in D1. So only B1 and D1 are selected. Okay, now if I want to select cells B1 through B5 and D1 through D5, I don't want to select C1 through C5. So first of all, I'm going to click B1, press and hold the Shift key, click B5. So that's one selection done. Now since I want to split from B5 to D1, I'm going to press and hold the Control key. Now I'm going to click in D1. So now notice B1 through B5 is still selected. Now the control break happened, and now I'm in D1. I can now leave my Control key. Now I can press and hold the Shift key, and I can click D5. Okay, so that's how you can select B1 through B5 and then D1 through D5. So with the help of Control, you can break the selection. Okay, so these are some of the selection things. If you would like to type in any of the cell, for example, if I want to type in cell A1, name, in B1, I want to type city, and in C1, I want to type zip. But I misspelled zip. When I press enter, I realize I need to fix it. So if I go back in C1 and simply start typing, notice I end up overwriting the contents. If I only want to make an edit, so for example, let me put the zip back in place. I already showed you how you can edit, but let me explain to you how you do that. So what you do, instead of single click, you would double click in the cell. When you double click in the cell, it puts a cursor or an insertion point right in the cell location, and it allows you to make the changes. So double click, and then you can delete whatever you want to delete, and then press enter to finalize the change. That's one way to do that. The other way to do that is, let's say if I want to change my zip to a zip code, I can click on zip, I can click in the formula bar, and I can type code, and I'm typing in the formula bar, and it also gets typed in the cell at the same time, and I can press enter to finalize the change. Now, if I would like to rename the name of my sheet, so I'll double click, and I would like to call it personal information. So if I press enter, and this basically gets updated. Okay. Now similarly, I can click here to add another sheet. Once again, I can put in another sheet name. So you can name your sheets, and now they will going to be called that. You can keep adding a sheet. You can add as many sheets as you may like. Now to remove a sheet, you right click on a sheet and then you choose delete, so the sheet actually gets deleted. Once a sheet is deleted, you cannot undo and bring it back. So that's why it has to be something very thought for before you take that action. Now the other thing is, you can actually add a sheet and give it a background color. So let me call this one customer. Okay, and now let me give it a background color. So I right click on customer, I go to the tab color, and I choose orange. Now when I choose orange color, notice it is right now showing me the gradient effect. But as soon as I move out of it, it's solid. It gives me a solid color. So that's another way that you can figure out which of the many of your sheet is selected, because that will be the only sheet that's going to give you a gradient effect, and all of the sheets will going to be solid color. If you want to select all the sheets, you can right click on any sheet and then you can say select all sheets, and now notice customer is not a solid color anymore. So these are some of the basics. If you right click on it again and say I want to ungroup sheets, it'll go to ungroup, it'll unselect all the sheets that it was selecting. So these are some of the basic things that you can do when you are working with Microsoft Excel. In the next tutorial, I will going to share with you some of the tricks of autofill. So till then, take care of yourself. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Have a great day. Thank you very much for watching.